There are a few very brief things that we want to say to you, and then we're going to throw this open to conversation with you about anything that you want. But these are the primary elements that are important for anyone who has decided to be a deliberate creator to understand. You know this because this is what beliefs are. A belief is just a thought that has momentum. A belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. And we want you to not beat up on yourself about your beliefs, because you offer a thought and then you offer more of that thought, and law of attraction makes it easy for you to offer it more and more and more, and then something manifests that matches it, and you say, see, I knew that was true. Esther argued with us in the early days of our interaction with her. Abraham, it's true. I know you don't think I should think about that, but it is a true thing. And we would say to her endlessly, we know that it is a true thing because someone made it true. Your attention to it is going to make it true for you. Our only encouragement is that you decide before you make it true if it's something you want. Because you can make anything you want true for you, if you will get the momentum of it going long enough that law of attraction can bring it to you. But most don't. You say, I want it, but, I want it, but, I want it, but. I would like this thing that never comes to me to come to me, but it never comes to me. And wouldn't it be nice if this thing that I want more than life itself would come to me and save me from the wretchedness that is my normal life experience? I so want this thing that I've never seen. I don't know anybody who's really living it except that one person who's immoral. That person who I disapprove of completely is living my dream. But of course, I do not want to dream that dream because there is immorality involved. In other words, you shoot yourself in the foot with all of these things as you're trying to mostly explain why things are not better for you. And we want you to understand that there is only one reason that things are not better for you. You've got a thought process going on that you could change if you wanted to. But you're here because there are questions that you would like to have answered, and there are solutions that you're looking for. And we want you to know that within the framework of your understanding the law of attraction and your vibrational relationship with your source, which is what your emotions are all about, that you will find here today, if you want it, the formula to be or do or have anything that you desire. There is nothing that is off limits for you. If this time-space reality has spawned the desire within you, it can deliver the full-blown manifestation. Today we want to show you how you can tend to the only thing that is important for you to tend to, which is your point of attraction. Your point of attraction. Your point of attraction right here. What am I, you in your physical body, what am I letting in? There is a path from where you are to where you want to be on every subject, because the source within you knows what you want and knows where you are and knows how to lead you to what you want. And so we call that the path of least resistance, because if you've got resistance going on, you can't see the path. In other words, if you really want something and you're trying so hard to make it happen, the very effort that you are offering is the indicator that you've got the wrong frequency going on, and you just can't see the path. You can see the path of most resistance. Work long hours. Get too tired. Try to get other people to understand what I mean. Explain until I think my head's going to explode. Need others to see it my way. Justify my position, defend my position, rationalize my decision. Try. That won't get you to where you want to be, and the path that you're on is miserable in the process. That's the path of most resistance. So when you begin to understand that you are a vibrational being and that you live in a vibrational universe, and you understand the physics of vibration, and you really do, you just sometimes don't know that you do, then you can have a path of ease and flow and fun and clarity and precision. Oh, clarity. Nothing more delicious than to want something and feel yourself in the process of becoming it. So we want to put most of the emphasis on what you're doing with your point of attraction. How you doing vibrationally? Do you have a big wad of resistance all balled up in you? You can tell if you're ornery all the time, or if you're fearful, Or if you're angry, that's what that means. But if you are joyful, if you're feeling good, if you feel lighthearted, you remember that lighthearted feeling? You remember being a kid and having a day when nobody was on your case? They didn't even know for sure where you were. And you felt free. You felt free. That lighthearted feeling. Esther used to say to Jerry, let's go get a Coke and pretend like we're on vacation. It's like that feeling of being on vacation, that feeling that nothing needed to be done other than what I am feeling my way to. That's the way you are meant to live every single day. That's the way it's supposed to be all the time. And until it is that way, you're not going to be in a place where you're following your path, and you're going to be working way, way, way harder for the crummy little things that you're allowing for yourself instead of, don't mean to be disrespectful, but really the mediocrity that you put up with. It's stunning. It's stunning how much of what you really want you are denying yourselves of having. Oh, and then you justify, well, I want to be spiritual. I don't want to be materialistic. And we say, then you should have stayed where we are, where nothing manifests. Just think about things. But you're here for manifestation. Manifestation is the most spiritual, perfect part of the creative process. That's why everything that you know as God and source and spirit is focused here with you, out here on the leading edge. And in fact, that is the only reason that you are ever able to ever feel negative emotion, because all this source is focused with you on this path of culmination and creation and cooperation and delicious expansion. And when you deprive yourself of that signal, you feel rotten. And then you assume you're doing something wrong or that you're being denied it. You are not ever being denied anything, but you deny yourself plenty. And the way you deny yourself plenty is by getting all screwy in your vibration. Things like, I'm not a good person. Are you kidding? I'm not a good person. I wasn't born at the right time. Or my mother, it's my mother's fault. Whether you are blaming yourself or someone else, you're holding yourself in a vibrational frequency that is not allowing you what you're wanting to come into your experience. You've created the climate, whether you know that you have or not, and everything that's coming to you is coming in response to your vibration, because that's the way this universe runs. Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn, and there's no law other than that law that is affecting your experience. You get what you are thinking about, whether you want it or not. That's just the way it is. So what you've practiced to be your vibrational countenance relative to money, relative to relationships, relative to home or business or life, relative to every subject in the world, what you've practiced yourself into thought about equals your vibrational environment, and then the universe, the world, the people around you, the circumstances and events, they can only show you what you've created. So everything that comes to you isn't about what anybody else is doing. It's about what you've got going on vibrationally. And of course, we acknowledge what you've got going on vibrationally is a lot about what you're observing out there, because you're often letting what you're observing out there affect what you're doing here. But you don't have to. There's this momentum thing that happens, though. Once it gets going, it's just easier to let it go that way, because it's difficult to turn it around. In fact, do you know that the only reason that you can even feel what you would call negative emotion, whether you call it fear or rage or embarrassment or anger, every negative emotion that you feel is only possible because you are feeling a way that the source within you does not feel about the same subject. In other words, you're setting up a frequency that's different from the frequency of source. So really what negative emotion is, here's the clearest way that we can ever explain it to you. Here you are standing in your world, in your body, in your beingness, and source is surrounding you with well-being. And when you let yourself be the receiver of that well-being, of that clarity, of that love, of that appreciation, of that abundance, then you feel great. But when you start thinking thoughts that prevent it from coming, that's what negative emotion is. It's your resistance leads to the natural well-being, to the unconditional love, to the unconditional prosperity, to the unconditional clarity that is flowing your way all day, every day, if you will figure out some way to let it in. So that's what we want to help you do. Figure out ways to let it in. We want to show you how to get this vibrational climate around yourself in an attitude that you'll like what flows into it. Because when you're in this vibrational place that is in sync with who you really are, your emotions raise from pure satisfaction to true passion and enthusiasm for life. You feel clear and sure and interested in life. You feel fun. Your timing is good. You feel vitality. Everything about your world feels good to you once you deliberately prepare your vibrational environment to be the receiver of the things that it must receive, because law of attraction will not give to you something that you have not practiced. We always like to put this analogy in early in our conversations with you. Sometimes it is as if you are saying to us, Abraham, I've jumped out of an airplane and I don't have a parachute. Would you please advise me as what to do now? And we always say, hang on, it will be over in a little while. Because there is a momentum at that stage that there is not likely an action that you're going to find that is going to dramatically change the outcome, because you waited too long before you addressed it. You let the momentum get going too far. Well, no big deal. The momentum will peter out. And when you sleep tonight, the momentum will stop altogether. And in the morning when you awaken, you have the option of beginning your momentum in a way that creates a vibrational atmosphere that you will like what comes to it. So since we've been talking like this, Esther has been thinking a lot about creating her vibrational atmosphere. And she's saying to herself often, and it will serve you well too, I want to respond to what's happening out there in the world, or happening to me, happening anywhere that I'm involved with it or observing it. I want to respond from this practiced place of alignment, not from this reactionary place. And really that's what the art of allowing is all about. It's deciding how you want to feel. It's understanding that you are extensions of Source. It's understanding the way Source always bees with you. We have enjoyed this interaction more than any words that Esther could ever find could convey to you. And while we stand in a place of knowing about what this conversation today means to you and will mean to you in terms of what's unfolding next, our favorite part about this conversation is that again and again you came away from resistance and toward alignment all day long. The thing about vibrational shift and emotional alignment is that the evidence that you think you want is a day or two out. The evidence that we want you to want is what took place already, in that feeling of clarity, in that feeling of more eagerness. These are emotions that are manifestations, that are the first indications of the releasing of resistance. And we want you to know that with the hundreds of you that are here in this room, and the more than that around the world today who are listening in, we have never felt more energetic vibrational shift than what you all accomplished in this conversation. Will evidence support that? For sure. Do we want you to care about that? Not at all. It's the emotional evidence that we want you to crave, to be aware of. And it is our promise to you that you will live happily ever after in this body and way beyond.